I need to get this off my chest because I feel like I'm going insane. This is a throwaway account because some of my friends use Reddit. I've been with Bianca for 2 years. We met at a game night hosted by our mutual friend Miguel, 28M. Bianca was the life of the party that night, making everyone laugh, organizing games, mixing drinks. I'd just gone through a rough breakup 6 months before and wasn't looking for anything serious, but Bianca changed that. Bianca is smart, ambitious, and everyone loves her. When we started dating, she was upfront about her ex, Harry, 31M, working at the same company. They dated for a year before she joined, and she insisted their breakup was mutual. According to her, they stayed professional at work and barely interacted outside meetings. I had no reason to doubt her. She was always open about when they had to work together and never seemed weird about it. Our relationship moved pretty fast. Bianca was everything I wanted. She was spontaneous but responsible, funny but driven. Within 6 months, we moved in together. Everyone said we were perfect together. Her family welcomed me immediately. Her mom treated me like a son, and her sister Kate became one of my closest friends. Even my parents, who are usually skeptical about my relationships, loved Bianca. We had a solid friend group. Besides Miguel, there was Jenny, 27F, who's been Bianca's best friend since college, Mike and Lisa, both 28, who we met through work events, and several others. We did weekly game nights, monthly camping trips, and basically spent all our free time together. I really thought I'd found my people. Everything seemed perfect until last week. I was at work when I got a message request on Instagram from Harry. I almost ignored it, but curiosity got the better of me. He'd sent several photos of Bianca, intimate photos that were clearly recent. In one, she was wearing the necklace I gave her for Christmas. In another, the nail polish matched what she was wearing just last month. I left work early and went home to confront Bianca. She was working from home that day. When I showed her the photos, she immediately went on the defensive. Said they were old photos from when they dated, that Harry was just trying to cause trouble. But I pointed out the necklace, the nail polish, even the new tattoo she got 6 months ago visible in one shot. She kept denying until I started packing a bag. That's when she broke. Turns out she never ended things with Harry. They've been sleeping together this entire time, meeting at his place during lunch breaks, sneaking off during work events, even using business trips as cover for weekend getaways. She claimed it was just physical, that she really did love me but couldn't resist the excitement of sneaking around with Harry. Looking back, there were so many signs. Miguel tried warning me multiple times. He said Bianca was acting shady, disappearing during parties, being weird about her phone, getting defensive if anyone mentioned Harry. But I shut him down. I accused him of being jealous because his own relationship had just ended. Now I feel like the world's biggest idiot. What kills me is how many people knew. Mike and Lisa had seen them together at bars across town but didn't want to get involved. Jenny, who I considered a good friend, had been covering for them the whole time. Bianca would tell me she was having girls' night with Jenny when she was really with Harry. Jenny's excuse? It wasn't my relationship to interfere with. I packed enough stuff for a few weeks and went to Miguel's place. He immediately offered his spare room for as long as I need. Bianca's been blowing up my phone, calling, texting, even messaging me on LinkedIn of all places. She swears she'll cut all contact with Harry, go to couples therapy, whatever it takes. But how do you rebuild trust after 2 years of lies? Her family's reaction made everything worse. Her mom called me selfish for not hearing Bianca out. Kate, who I thought was my friend, said all couples go through rough patches and I'm throwing away something special. They act like I'm overreacting to a minor indiscretion instead of 2 years of calculated deception. I keep going through old messages and photos, seeing all the signs I missed. The work emergencies that pulled her away from date nights. The girls' trips that never showed up on Jenny's Instagram. The way she'd get defensive if I asked innocent questions about work projects with Harry. The password changes on her phone. The mysterious weekend work meetings that couldn't be rescheduled. Miguel dropped another bombshell yesterday. Apparently Harry has a girlfriend, Anna, 26F. They've been together for 8 months. She has no idea about Bianca. Miguel thinks I should tell her, says she deserves to know what kind of man she's dating. He's probably right, but right now I can barely handle my own mess. I don't know what's next. The lease on our apartment is in both our names. Most of our friends are mutual. We even adopted a cat together. Don't worry, Tony's with me at Miguel's. No way I'm leaving him with Bianca. I have to see her at group events, at the local bars we all go to, probably even at work functions since our companies sometimes collaborate. The hardest part isn't even the cheating, it's realizing our entire relationship was fake. Every time she said she loved me, every future we planned, every moment I thought was special, was she thinking of him? Was I just convenient cover for their affair? A safe backup plan? The questions keep me up at night. I'm not looking for advice really. Just needed to get this out. Maybe someone else will see the signs I missed. Wow, this blew up. Thanks for all the support. To answer some common questions, yes, I have screenshots and proof saved. No, I haven't decided about telling Anna yet. And yes, Tony, The cat is doing fine, he's currently hogging Miguel's couch. Update 1 first, thank you everyone for the support on my last post. The comments really helped me stay strong when Bianca's family was trying to guilt me into reconciliation. A lot has happened in the past 2 weeks, and none of it is good. I took your advice and reached out to Harry's girlfriend Anna. We met at a coffee shop far from both our workplaces. I didn't want to risk Bianca or Harry showing up. Anna was exactly what you'd expect, smart, pretty, successful. She's a pediatric nurse, and honestly seemed way too good for Harry. When I showed her the messages and photos, she just sat there quietly for a long time. Then she started laughing. Not happy laughter, that horrible, broken kind that makes people stare. Turns out she wasn't surprised at all. She'd suspected something for months, but Harry had this way of twisting everything around. If she asked about late nights at work, he'd accuse her of being controlling. If she questioned work trips, he'd say she was insecure. Classic gaslighting. But what Anna told me next made me throw up in the coffee shop bathroom. Bianca and Harry's relationship never actually ended. Ever. They've been together continuously for 4 years, through multiple relationships. I was just the latest cover story. Anna had proof, years of messages, hotel receipts, photos. They had a whole system worked out. She showed me emails going back years. Fake work meetings scheduled to match their hookup times. Business trips that were actually weekend getaways. They even had a shared cloud folder full of their encounters that Anna found on Harry's laptop when she was looking for a recipe he'd promised to send her. I thought I'd hit rock bottom before, but this was worse. Every memory of the past 2 years just got rewritten. Those nights Bianca worked late? She was with him. The work conference in Miami last year? They turned it into a romantic getaway. She even skipped my sister's wedding because of food poisoning. She was actually with Harry at a beach resort. After meeting Anna, I went to confront Jenny. I needed answers from someone I used to trust. She cracked pretty quickly, the guilt had been eating at her. Bianca didn't just use Jenny's apartment for meetups, she'd been confiding in Jenny the whole time. Jenny showed me texts where Bianca bragged about fooling me, called me naive for trusting her so completely. She even joked about how she'd never have to work late again because I believed everything she said. Some of the texts made me physically sick. He actually bought that I had another work emergency lol. Harry is so much better in bed, but my name pays half the rent, so sometimes I feel bad, but honestly it's his fault for being so trusting. Jenny's excuse for keeping quiet? Bianca's been my friend since college. She said she'd end things with Harry soon. I didn't want to ruin our friendship. When I asked about our friendship, she just looked away. That told me everything I needed to know. The next day, I went to Bianca's office to return her house keys. That's when I found out someone, probably Anna, had emailed their HR department with proof they'd been using company time and resources for their affair. Both Bianca and Harry got fired on the spot. Company policy about workplace relationships is strict, and they'd violated every rule in the book. Bianca showed up at Miguel's place that night, completely hysterical. Said I'd ruined her life by exposing everything. She'd lost her job, her friends were ghosting her, and Harry was blaming her for everything. I just stood there while she screamed about how this was all my fault. Miguel finally had to threaten to call the police to get her to leave. Her family's tune changed real quick after the truth came out. Her mom called yesterday to apologize. Said she had no idea how deep the deception went. Even Kate admitted she was wrong about me overreacting. Turns out Bianca had been lying to them too, told them Harry was harassing her at work, that I was paranoid and controlling. The story she spun made me the villain. The worst part? Finding out about all the little moments that meant nothing to her. The promise ring I gave her on our first anniversary? She was wearing it in photos with Harry. The romantic playlist I made for her birthday? She played it during their hookups. Every special memory I had is tainted now. Our friend group has imploded. Mike and Lisa are trying to stay neutral, which basically means they're choosing Bianca. Miguel and a few others are firmly on my side. Jenny's been cut off by everyone. The weekly game nights are done. The camping trips are cancelled. Everything's just broken. I'm moving out of Miguel's next week. Found a small studio across town. Bianca still has stuff at our old place, but I told her she has until the end of the month to get it or it's going to Goodwill. I'm not her storage unit anymore. To the people asking for screenshots, no, I won't be sharing them. That's not the kind of revenge I want. And yes, I got tested. All clear, thankfully. Update 2. This update is hard to write. Every time I think this situation can't get worse, it does. The amount of lies and deception that keep coming to light is staggering. After my last update, Bianca and Harry's former co-workers started reaching out. At first, it was just a few DMs expressing sympathy. Then the floodgates opened. Turns out Bianca and Harry were literally the office joke. Everyone knew about their supply closet meetups, their extended lunches in his car, and their fake meetings in unused conference rooms. The most disgusting part? They had office betting pools about my relationship. People were actually wagering money on when I'd find out about the affair. One of the accountants, Dave, sent me screenshots of their office group chat. They called it the other man pool. The things they said about me. I couldn't eat for 2 days after reading those messages. Anna and I have been talking regularly, comparing notes and timelines. The level of coordination between Bianca and Harry was insane. Remember the food poisoning incident I mentioned? That weekend at the beach resort? They took photos together, eating at fancy restaurants while she was supposedly sick in bed. She even had Harry take photos of her looking ill in bed before she left, which she sent me throughout the weekend to keep up the lie. My birthday last year? She missed dinner with my family because of an emergency client meeting. The truth? She was meeting Harry's parents. They knew about me too. Apparently Bianca had told them I was just some guy she was seeing casually, that Harry was the one she really loved. They even helped cover for them sometimes. But the worst revelation came from Miguel. He finally told me everything. 6 months into my relationship with Bianca, he caught them together at a bar across town. They were all over each other, definitely not acting like just co-workers. When he confronted Bianca, she broke down crying. Said it was a one-time mistake, that she'd been drinking and regretted it immediately. She swore she was ending things with Harry for good. Miguel felt trapped. Bianca threatened that if he told me, she'd tell everyone he had tried to sexually harass her at the game night where we met. She knew about his recent breakup and job troubles, said no one would believe his word over hers. He's been carrying that guilt for a year and a half. I've started the process of selling our apartment. I can't stand being there anymore. Last week, I was packing up the bedroom and found a burner phone taped under Bianca's bedside table. Hundreds of messages between them, going back months. They weren't just using our bed when I was away, they were hooking up there while I was at work. I threw up right there on the bedroom floor. The final straw came yesterday. I ran into Harry at the grocery store. He had the nerve to approach me, said he wanted to apologize. Said he never meant for me to find out this way. As if there's a good way to find out your girlfriend of 2 years has been sleeping with her ex the entire time. I lost it. Decked him right there in the produce section. Not my proudest moment, but watching him fall into the Apple display was oddly satisfying. Security asked us both to leave. Worth it. Bianca's stuff is in storage now. She has until the end of the month to get it before I donate everything. She tried coming by the apartment while I was packing, but I had already changed the locks. She stood outside yelling for an hour about how I was being cruel, how I owed her the chance to explain. The neighbors called the cops. Watching her try to explain to the officers why she was harassing her ex at 11 p.m. was almost entertaining. The apartment goes on the market next week. I'm taking a loss on the sale, but I don't care. I just want out. Every room holds memories I want to forget. The kitchen where she cooked dinner while texting him. The living room where we watched movies while she was messaging him under the blanket. The balcony where I proposed future plans while she was probably planning her next meetup with him. Anna's been amazing through all this. We've become good friends. Turns out shared trauma is quite the bonding experience. She's already dating someone new, which gives me hope. Maybe someday this won't hurt so much. For now, I'm focusing on work and healing. Tony's still living his best life at Miguel's place. He's even made friends with Miguel's dog, which I never thought would happen. Funny how animals can adapt better than humans sometimes. I'll post another update if anything significant happens, but hopefully this chapter of my life is almost over. Thanks for all the awards and support. And no, I won't press charges against Harry over the grocery store incident. Some things are better left in the produce aisle. Update 3 final update, and honestly, I never thought I'd be writing this one with a smile on my face. Life has a weird way of working things out. The biggest news first, I moved to Seattle. My company offered me a transfer with a promotion, and I jumped at the chance. Miguel actually helped me find an apartment here. Turns out his cousin works in real estate in the area. It's a fresh start, away from all the memories and drama. The apartment sold quickly, thankfully. I took a small loss, but my mental health was worth more than the money. Bianca's stuff? She never came to get it from storage. I donated most of it to a women's shelter and sold the expensive items, then donated that money too. It felt good turning her lies into something positive. Now for the karma part, Bianca moved in with Harry after the apartment sale. She was practically bragging about it on social media, posting about how sometimes you have to lose everything to find your true path and other inspirational nonsense. Well, guess what? Last week, Anna forwarded me some interesting messages. Bianca caught Harry sleeping with their new coworker at his marketing job. Apparently, he's been doing it for months, since before Bianca even moved in. The irony? Bianca found out the same way I did, through photos sent to her phone. She's been trying to contact me nonstop since then. Calling from different numbers, sending emails, even tried to reach me through LinkedIn again. Her messages are all about how she made the biggest mistake of her life and finally understands my pain. I haven't responded to any of them. Jenny reached out too. Sent me a long email about how watching Bianca lose everything made her realize what a toxic friend she'd been. She's in therapy now, working on her issues with codependency. Good for her, I guess, but I'm not interested in reviving that friendship. Some betrayals you don't come back from. The mutual friends who knew and stayed quiet? Most of them tried to apologize once the full story came out. Mike and Lisa sent a particularly long message about how they should have told me what they saw. I replied with a simple, thumbs up, and blocked them. Miguel says I'm petty. He's not wrong. Speaking of Miguel, he's actually moving to Seattle too in a few months. Got a job offer here that he couldn't refuse. And yes, he's bringing Tony with him, they become inseparable. Never thought my cat would choose my best friend over me, but I can't blame him. Miguel's place has better windows for sunbathing. Anna and I still talk regularly. She's engaged to that guy she started dating. Turns out sometimes good things can come from bad situations. She's actually the one who encouraged me to start dating again. Had my first date last week with someone from work. It was nice, but I'm not rushing into anything. The most unexpected development? Harry's parents reached out to apologize. They sent a long letter explaining how ashamed they were for their part in the deception. Apparently, they've cut contact with Harry too after finding out he did the same thing to Anna and now to Bianca. Karma really is making her rounds. Sometimes I still have moments where it all hits me again. But they're getting rarer. The other day, I realized I hadn't thought about Bianca all week. Progress, I guess. To everyone who followed this saga and offered support, thank you. Your comments helped more than you know. And to anyone going through something similar, it gets better. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but eventually. This is definitely my last update. Time to close this chapter for good. Though I have to say, watching Karma work her magic has been pretty satisfying.